was a Wednesday.
Yeah, I got a call at lunch from my mom saying that, hey, tomorrow we're going to court for Kingston and Anna, and just wanted to let y'all know. I went home that night and told Karen and said, I guess we're going to Beaumont tomorrow to go to the court case. Because that was the first we had heard about it. We hadn't heard that there was any problems or anything at that point.
We didn't know. When his mom called him, at that point the children had been in foster care for almost a week. And that was a surprise to us. So then we ended up on that Thursday going to court. The entire family stood before the judge. The charges were read. And it was an eye-opening and very sad reality. On the trip there, it was, this is serious. And it's like, what are the odds that you think we'll end up having 2 more children? And
at that time I said, on the way there, I said about 50-50. On the way back, I said about 95%.
But it wasn't really as much a decision as this is what's happening.
This is what we need to do.
It's just, it was only about 2 weeks from the phone call to where we knew that we were going through the study for fostering.
We started going back every weekend so that they get used to us, and we knew at that point that yes, they were going to be coming here, if for nothing else, for the fostering part of it. Still not really knowing that it was going to wind up in adoption at that point.
They asked us to wait for the official adoption until National Adoption Day. And it was a celebration, and the media was there, and the courtroom had balloons and teddy bears everywhere.
Yeah, so you walk into the same courtroom that you've been going through for the past year, and it's been depressing, and they've got balloons and teddy bears.
It was quite a precious day. We had, of course, Lauren and Austin were with us, and we had friends there and family. And the next day we went and got family pictures taken, right. and got to announce our new family. And then on that Sunday, I believe it was that Sunday that we had a dedication here, we got to celebrate and introduce our kids officially to the church. Anna, when we actually got them in February, she was 9 months old, and Kingston was about 22 months old. They were little. Anna, being a preemie, she was only 13 pounds.
Yeah,
she was wearing size 3-month clothes. She wasn't sitting. She had an apnea heart monitor that she had to wear.
She was still a newborn by the way she acted.
I mean, it was real interesting because she was very much just an infant, not just a baby, but she was an infant. And then Kingston had stopped talking, and he would just point and go, I mean, we had 2 very small, vulnerable children. It's unbelievable to think about that short amount of time and what a journey it's been.
Yeah, a lot of times you rely on yourself for a lot of the stuff you do. And looking back, that we weren't prepared as much as we could have been. And relying on God to kind of just guide you along that path. Looking back, there's a lot of stuff that happened. Going back to when we first moved here, we bought a house thinking that we're buying it for one reason, and we're like, well, 6 months later, why did we buy such a big house? We have 2 extra bedrooms. There's no reason why we need these other two bedrooms.
God has taught me a whole lot about, go ahead and tell me your plans, but then watch what I'm going to do with them. The journey all along the way has been an exercise of continually having to remind myself that this is not about Karen and Kirk. This is about what God's doing in Kingston and Anna's life. And we're just the vessels.
Yeah, we just get to watch.
So it's amazing to see how God, we didn't even ask for it. It just was being woven. A couple of years ago after Christmas, we get back into school, and I get a call from teachers. I get a call from the coach, from the music teacher, from the counselor, from the bus driver, even from our pastor's wife from Sunday school. Kingston is having issues. And so we went into counseling. And we have been in counseling about 18 months now through Gracewood. And that has been a lifeline. And God provided that for us when we would not have been able to seek counseling anywhere else. So we've had the new education for the last 18 months of learning how to be different kinds of parents. But I can tell you all along the way, God's never left our side.
No.
I don't know what it's going to look like tomorrow, but I know that God has something special planned for King and Anna. And that's the coolest part of the whole journey, is that I just get to play a part in making sure that they are, His, to use them in their future, because I know they're going to do something special. And then you can rewind a little bit, and because Kingston and Anna's mom, Jamie, 7 years ago, she was a mess. She was a hot mess. 4 years ago, our nephew, Alex, died of a drug overdose. And Jamie had a reality. Jamie, I think, came to the realization that could happen to her.
It was the turning point for her, where she knew that she had to do something. That's where she was going to be.
Jamie is doing really, really well. And God has answered prayers for her. And while we lost Alex, his death served a purpose in saving her life. And you don't really get to see the full story very often. You don't really get to see a lot of the answered prayers that you pray for. But that one is a reality that I hold tight to.
Right.
Her life is definitely a miracle of God. And their futures are a miracle of God.